Belief in an evil power constantly at work has existed from absolutely prehistoric times. It has been more or less tacitly adopted and sanctioned by various creeds or religious beliefs, particularly so by the Church of Rome, by medieval writers, and by writers on occult science. We today may call it superstition, but there was a time when it held enormous sway over mankind and exercised a tremendous influence. In its present form, it consists often of a belief that certain individuals possess a blighting power. Evidently, St. Paul shared this prevalent belief when he rebuked the foolish Galatians, saying, as in our common translation, "Who hath bewitched you that ye should not obey the truth?" In the Vulgate, the word translated bewitch is fascinare, exactly the same word as used by Virgil, and referring to the influence of the evil eye. Cicero himself discussed the word fascination, and he explained the Latin verb invidere and noun invidia as meaning to look closely at, whence comes our word envy or evil eye. All the ancients believed that from the eyes of envious or angry people there was projected some malign influence which could infect the air and penetrate and corrupt both living creatures and inanimate objects. Plutarch was sure that certain men's eyes were destructive to infants and young animals, and he believed that the Thebans could thus destroy not only the young, but strong men. The classical writers are so full of allusions to this subject that it is easy to see where people during the Middle Ages got their prevalent belief in witches. Thus Pliny said that those possessed of the evil eye would not sink in water, even if weighed down with clothes, hence the medieval ordeal by water, which had, however, its inconveniences for the innocent, for if the reputed witch sank, he evidently was not guilty, but if he floated, he was counted guilty, and then burned. Not only was this effect supposed to be produced by the fascinating eye, but even by the voice, which some asserted could blast trees, kill children, and destroy animals. In Pliny's time, special laws were enacted against injury to crops by incantation or fascination. But the Romans went even farther than this and believed that their gods were envious of each other and cast their evil eyes upon the less powerful of their own circle. Hence, the caduceus, which Mercury always carried as a protection. To be the reputed possessor of an evil eye was an exceeding great misfortune. Solomon lent himself to the belief when he enjoined, "Eat thou not the bread of him that hath an evil eye." The most inconvenient country in which to have this reputation today is Italy, and especially in Naples. The Italians apply the term jettatore to the individual thus suspected, and to raise the cry of jettatore in a Neapolitan crowd even today is to cause a speedy stampede. For the Italians, the worst of all is the jettatore di bambini, or the fascinator of infants. A most interesting work was written by Valletta and published in Naples in 1787. It was practically a treatise upon fascination and the jettatore. Valletta himself was a profound believer in all this sort of thing, and finished up his work by offering rewards for answers to certain questions, among which were the following. Which jettatore is most powerful? He who has, or he who has not, a wig? Whether monks are more powerful than others? To what distance does the influence of the jettatore extend, and whether it operates more to the side, front, or back? Monks especially, ever since the establishment of religious orders being considered to possess this fatal influence. Curiously enough, the late Pope, Pius IX, was supposed to be a most pronounced jettatore, and the most devout Catholics would point two fingers at him even while receiving his blessing.